welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we have your January 2026 month ahead prediction. So if you are curious what you can expect happening for you through the month of January, then you came to the right place. What we do here is we connect to guides, angels, and spirits of 100% pure white light to bring you information that's for your highest good using the tarot cards and the oracle cards. And in this video, I have 4 different groups in front of me, and you're going to use your intuition to choose one of these 4 different groups. Occasionally, your intuition may call you towards multiple groups, and that's totally okay. It just means that there's multiple messages for you in today's video, so you'd go ahead and tune into all the ones that you feel intuitively called towards. So the way that your intuition works is your intuition doesn't look at which pile is like the most beautiful or anything like that. Your intuition is your 6th sense that's able to read energy, and different energies are going to be within each of these piles, and depending on which one that you're called towards, it's because your energy resonates with the energy in that pile, and that is why it is so accurate. So again, your intuition goes based off of what you are just unexplainably, illogically called towards for no apparent reason at all. That is your intuition speaking to you. So a few different ways that you can tap into your intuition is either by looking at these groups. Maybe there's one of them that just stands out to you amongst the rest. Maybe there's one of them that you just get this sort of interesting magnetic pull towards and you're like, ooh, that one just sticks out to me. It's different. It's calling to me almost, right? And then that is your intuition speaking to you. You can also close your eyes and wait for a number between 1 and 4 to pop into your head. And the first one to pop up into your head is your intuition speaking to you. Or you can take your hand and hold it over each of the groups, just feeling what you sense in that pile. And maybe there's going to be one of them that stands out to you, maybe one of them that just feels different, or you just feel this interesting magnetic pull towards. That is your intuition, my love, alive and strong and working and guiding you towards the pile that resonates with your particular energy. I know some of you also like to choose via the crystals that are on the cards, so if that is you, let's go ahead and do a little close-up of each of them. So on group number 1, we have this really beautiful Aqua Aura Quartz. So if you find yourself drawn to this crystal, then group number 1 is going to be your pile. Group number 2, we have this really pretty Lepidolite crystal. So if you find yourself drawn to the Lepidolite, then group 2 is going to be your pile. Group number 3, we have this really beautiful Fluorite. So if you are drawn to the Fluorite crystal, then group 3 is going to be your pile. And then over on group 4, we have this beautiful copper piece. So if you are drawn to this beautiful piece of copper, then group 4 is going to be the pile for you. So those are our different group options for today's video. Of course, you can pause the video to take all the time in the world that you need to find out which pile is calling to you the most. Then there's timestamps linked down below, and I cannot wait to see you inside of your reading. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading for the month of January, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my group 1s, beginning with your Astro Dice, let's see your month of January. So we have the planet of Uranus in Libra in the 12th house. So Uranus is the planet of unexpected change and shifts. Libra helps us create balance and fairness, and it's also associated with the planet of Venus, so it kind of brings about a sense of love and beauty into our world. And then we also have all of this occurring in the 12th house. The 12th house is connected to the subconscious mind, our creativity, and things that are going on more in our spiritual self. So there's going to be some unexpected, more spiritual shifts for you this month, my group number 1s. And it's going to be a spiritual shift in the sense that with Libra showing up, I feel like you are creating a spiritual shift in terms of wanting to find and see more love in the world, to kind of romanticize life a little bit more, to create more balance and fairness and harmony within your entire life. So if anything feels off, I actually feel like this Uranus energy, it's almost like the energy of the universe is pushing you to create more balance in your life and also to create more love in your life. And also when it comes to yourself and your own relationship with yourself, creating one that is more fair and more loving. Perhaps you're going to do things for yourself where you're shifting yourself more on an energetic level, and perhaps even on a physical level in certain ways, where you are, falling in love with yourself more, doing practices that make you love yourself more. Perhaps you're also going to do something with your appearance in some way, like such as, getting your hair done in a new way that you've never done before, or making some shifts or changes to where you can kind of get reinvigorated or re-inspired by yourself. We also have the 8 of Wands showing up in the reverse position. This can show up when we are, for one, wanting to say no to certain things that we don't feel entirely fully motivated about. I feel like this is going to be a big month of honoring your energy, because perhaps in the past you used to push yourself to be like, you know what, I committed to this, therefore I'm going to stick to this. But I feel like this month, in the month of January, it's almost like you are more willing to stand up for yourself and more willing to say no, more willing to step outside of your comfort zone in order to honor the way you feel about things. Because the 8 of Wands being reversed can talk about like canceling plans or saying no to certain things or putting certain things on pause, and perhaps even taking time to just like slow down a little bit. Perhaps you've had a year where it was just all like speedy and going as fast as you can. But with the 8 of Wands being reversed, it can talk about delays even, or even things that are outside of your control that are creating a little bit of delays with certain things. However, I feel like this is all divine because this is giving you an opportunity to really honor your energy and create more balance. We also have the Emperor showing up for you, which is such a powerful card. It's the card that talks about embodying confidence, embodying your inner sovereignty and your inner power. It's about cultivating inner belief in yourself to overcome obstacles that have once held you back. So if there's anything also in life that feels like you are held back by it, it could be like an internal feeling or something else where you almost felt like things were on pause or anything like this. The Emperor gives us that strength to push through old boundaries and obstacles, but at the same time, the balance that I'm seeing for you here and the balance that Libra is bringing is the ability to say no to what no longer invigorates you or inspires you, and the confidence to say no to those things, the confidence to honor yourself, but then at the same time, things that you do want to move forward that you have felt held back by, or things that have slowed you down. The Emperor gives us that strength and that confidence to be like, you know what? I'm going to push this one forward. I'm going to start, really committing to this. Then we also have the 3 of Swords being reversed. I actually love this card showing up in the reverse position. When the 3 of Swords is reversed, we are going through a time of healing. We are releasing old pains, old regrets, or even if you used to feel nervous about saying no about things, because maybe you'd be like, oh, I feel the heartbreak amongst that. I don't want to hurt anybody else, etc., etc. The 3 of Swords being reversed with the Emperor upright, the 8 of Wands being reversed here, I'm getting this sense that you are overcoming this people-pleasing era and wanting to really honor how you feel and knowing that it's a good thing to honor how you feel. It's a good thing to be honest. It's a good thing to, actually voice your opinion rather than forcing yourself to show up to something that maybe you're not really feeling or forcing yourself to do something that you're not really feeling. We also have the 4 of Cups showing up right as well. This can come up when we are looking at our circumstances and kind of feeling into what's on my plate that I no longer really resonate with. I feel like this is a big month of looking at what you want to release from your life. That's like the overall vibe that I'm getting, is a month where you're looking at what do I want to release? And this could be like physical things. If you've gained a lot of physical clutter, it could be like, I feel like releasing all that. But since we have like Wands, Swords, and Cups as our main suits showing up here, this would indicate releasing things mentally that have been holding you back, releasing things emotionally that have been draining you and holding you back, releasing things energetically that you just feel like not energized by, and looking at those areas of your life of what you want to release. And then the Emperor kind of empowers you with, who do you really want to embody? What's the version of you that you want to embody? And what are the things that actually make you feel so good that you really want to say yes to? The Four of Cups can also indicate that there's something kind of just around the corner that is waiting for us. And I feel like it's going to come about around February or March for you, where there's some sort of new opportunity or new idea or even new emotional thing that's more fulfilling to you that you're going to be discovering within the next 2 to 3 months. So around maybe February, March-ish. I feel like you're going to be discovering something that is more emotionally fulfilling for you, and being able to close out and wrap up the old things that are no longer emotionally satisfying for you. Maybe you're realizing that through this last year, you've sort of begun to realize what no longer emotionally fulfills. And maybe there's a few things that are still in your life that maybe you're closing out and figuring out ways to release those old things, figuring out ways to release those old thoughts, those old energies, those old emotions, and finding ways that you can create more emotional fulfillment. If any of you have been bored lately, by the way, Four of Cups too. If any of you have been bored or have been running into moments where you just feel like you're no longer emotionally as satisfied with certain things, the Four of Cups also brings our awareness to those moments. And since we have Uranus and Libra and this 12th house energy, I feel like you're about to get really creative and experimenting with new things to overcome boredom. Like maybe there's times in your day where maybe there isn't much to do, or there's not much being planned, or again, maybe you've canceled plans that you weren't feeling anymore, but now it's like, okay, what do we fill that time with? What do we actually start doing? And perhaps you're in this like kind of gray space area where you're trying to find the newness or trying to kind of reinvent a new kind of stage of your life where there's new things going on or new exciting, hobbies or projects or things like that. I really feel like this is kind of an explorative month for you of finding in, discovering new hobbies and new things that are emotionally satisfying. Maybe things have gotten a little bit mundane. Like the Four of Cups can also talk about things getting a little bit mundane and average, where it's like, just another day that I'm kind of used to. And so I feel like there's this energy of like, I want to start changing things up a little bit. I want to start discovering new things. We also have the Empath card. So again, the inner version of you that maybe felt the need to people please or uphold other people's wants, dreams, and desires at the expense of your own. I feel like you're also realizing like, hey, I actually don't want to do this at the expense of myself anymore. Like, yes, I do want people to be happy, but I don't want it to come at the expense of my own happiness. And so I feel like you are putting your foot down a little bit more and also standing up for yourself more. There could be different conversations that you're having through the month of you kind of being more in your power. We also have the Collective. So I see that you're going to be like saying yes to opportunities and surrounding yourself with people that actually do uplift you. The Collective can talk about friendships that we really feel like they understand us. This can also talk about us coming to an understanding in our relationships, especially if we need to have certain conversations for people to understand where we're coming from or, where we're at in our lives. I feel like there's going to be some big conversations that are really helpful around that. Then we also have Cleanse and Release showing up. So old emotions that have, kind of come to a point of needing to be released and healed. This is where we clear what has been emotionally blocking us, or if you have felt kind of like there's been something on your chest, I really feel like there's going to be some big conversations in the month of January that help you clear what has been blocking you or draining you. Then we also have intuition showing up as well, which is very connected to our Empath card because both of them go hand in hand. So your intuition has not been lying, my love. In fact, the intuition never lies. But one aspect that I'm seeing for you through the month of January is that you're going to be honoring what your intuitive feelings have been kind of nudging you towards. Like perhaps you've been feeling this nudge such as like, oh, I feel like I need to, again, bring up this certain conversation, or I feel like I need to speak about this emotion that I'm feeling, or maybe you feel intuitively like I need to say no to certain things, or I need to add in like new hobbies or new things that feel really fun to me. Your intuition's been guiding you towards making certain shifts and changes in your life. And since we have the planet of Uranus showing up, this is definitely going to be a month of shifts and changes. And I feel like pulling an archetype card for you to get a little bit of insight on kind of how your archetype is shifting this month. So let's go ahead and see what your archetype is. We have the priest archetype. So the light attributes is facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy, and we do have your spiritual 12th house showing up for you. Then we also have the shadow attributes, violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So actually, okay, what I'm feeling through this is, for one, perhaps you've been feeling almost like there's been this desire to stay committed to what other people want and desire, and to kind of show up and uphold, like, you know, not wanting people to think less of you, not wanting people to misinterpret you honoring yourself. Maybe there's been this fear of like, oh, if I honor myself and I say no to this, or if I bring up, you know, my wants, needs, and desires and the things that I've been actually feeling, maybe there's been this fear behind that people are gonna maybe misinterpret your intentions or misinterpret what you actually are trying to convey. And so I feel like the transformation that you're gonna be kind of going through and experiencing through the month of January is you coming into how to communicate in a way that is high vibrational, a way of communicating where you are honoring yourself and your wants, needs, and your intuitive feelings, that you're like, I want to get this off my chest, I want to release this, I no longer want this to hold me back anymore. You're figuring out a way to portray that message without seeming like it is selfish, or without seeming like, you know, it is going to get misconstrued or something like this, or misunderstood. I feel like there's going to be a figuring out of how to communicate those things. And that's, this priest energy is kind of more stepping up into your highest self and asking, how would my highest self approach this conversation? How would my highest self choose words in order to be understood with the way that I'm feeling? And let's go ahead and get some more cards on this for you, my love. Your month of January, we have reclaiming your sovereignty and your power. Look at the crown. This is reclaiming the fact that you are the leader of your life. You're the main character of your life, and you are not brought on this earth to live your life for anybody else. Of course, being kind and doing things that serve the greatest good of all is literally amazing. But at the same time, we also came here to create a life for us, and all of us are responsible for our own happiness. And when we reclaim the responsibility for our own happiness, and we empower others to do the same and say, hey, you're responsible for your own happiness, I'm responsible for my own happiness, let's go ahead and go create our happiness and find out, you know, where our happiness is and what defines that and what creates that. This is you reclaiming that ability in yourself to be the creator of your happiness. And then we also have love. So following what your heart is guiding you to do, to express yourself with love so that you can be heard through the lens of love. This is going to be one powerful month in terms of transforming the way that you communicate, transforming the way that you are understood, and coming back to a place of really feeling like you are in your power. Uranus really helps us shift routines. Libra helps us create balance and fairness, because of course, you know, if we're going to be honoring ourselves, of course we do want to honor other people in the process, but we also want to honor ourselves, right? Libra helps us create and find what that fine-tuned balance is. If any of you are in a partnership already, I'm seeing you having conversations in that partnership where it's like, how can we honor both of our wants and needs? And how can I vocalize mine to where I'm understood and seen, right? And if any of you are not in a partnership, this could be within your workplace or within your friendships or family commitments and obligations and things like this, where it's creating more balance and fairness in those areas. And let's go ahead and get any more cards onto this reading for you, my love. My group number ones, your month of January. We also have, if not now, then when. So if we don't bring it up now, When are we going to bring it up? If we're not going to make the change now, then when? When are we going to make this change? Let's see. We also have, I'm exactly where I am meant to be. So you are not behind. You're not going too fast. You're exactly where you're meant to be. You also have never make yourself small for anyone. Ooh, that is a powerful one that I feel like is meant to come up for you, especially regarding our reading that we just had. Never make yourself small for anyone. So if you feel like you've had to dim your own light, or that you've had to hold yourself back, or you've been worried about what other people are going to think or say, this is your sign. Never make yourself small for anybody. Then we also have nobody feels your heart like you do. So don't let other people put words in your mouth or speak for you or tell you what's best. Nobody feels your heart like you do. And we have so much about empath, intuition, and the heart of love right here. So what I'm feeling like this is saying for you is that your intuitive feelings, the nudges that you've been getting, are valid. They are valid. You get to create your own life and your own happiness, and you're here to live life for you. You're not here to live life for somebody else, right? So even when it's not easy, forgive them anyway. This could also be towards yourself too. Embrace the uncertainty. So I feel like this is a month where Spirit is really guiding you to step into the unknown, especially when it comes to like your daily routine or your hobbies or the things that make you feel on fire. I feel like this is a month of discovering something completely new. And again, this new thing might get discovered around February or March, but at the same time, this Four of Cups energy is making me feel like perhaps there's certain aspects of your life that are feeling a little bit more mundane, or maybe we're getting a little bit more bored, or even feeling drained about something. This is a month of exploring new hobbies and new interests. And as you do, it's going to lead you to discovering something completely new that's going to help you reinvigorate your spark for life, that inner zest, and all that good stuff, my love. So this is what we have for your month of January, my beautiful group number ones. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group number twos, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading for the month of January. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my group twos, let's begin with your Astro Dice here and see what we get. So we have Mars, Mars in Sagittarius. Some fire energy here in the second house. The second house is your house of your material world. So this can talk about your finances, your material belongings, or even your self-worth. Mars is the planet that helps us break through obstacles. It helps us take action. It helps us have a lot of motivation and cultivate inner motivation and willpower to, again, break through challenges, break through obstacles, move the needle forward type of thing. And then we also have the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, which is very fiery, which helps us fuel our inner fire, our inner spark, and it also helps us move forward. So there's a lot of like forward momentum in terms of your second house energy. If there has been blocks that you have been facing in terms of your self-worth that have been holding you back from taking action towards what you desire, this is a month where I feel like you are pushing yourself to overcome whatever those blocks have been. You are going to be pushing yourself perhaps outside of your comfort zone, breaking out of old paradigms, and maybe that's been a promise that you've been like, I want to make myself this promise this year to break out of old blocks or the old box that I've been in. And perhaps you have a dream and desire that does call you to break outside of your current comfort zone. And in the month of January, I see you breaking out of that. And I see the results being something where it's really, again, pushing the needle forward. It's allowing you to create more forward momentum. And this is more of a stronger momentum is what I'm feeling. Like this is a type of momentum that if you keep this ball rolling, it's going to build and build even more. Like something Spirit's showing me is like a snowball going downhill. And if you can continue, with that forward momentum of that snowball, it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it continues rolling down the hill and continuing that forward movement. So something that Spirit's showing me is whatever it is that you're wanting to break out of, like let's say that you want to start going to the gym in order to get really fit this year, and that's been one of your goals. And maybe you haven't, broken out of that comfort zone yet. January's like, whoop, okay, we're breaking through that. And if you can continue on that momentum, Spirit is saying that the transformation that you're going to create by the end of the year is huge. But let's say that this is also something that you're wanting to work towards in a particular goal, towards a career goal. Maybe you're wanting to break outside of your comfort zone and actually step outside and do something that you know you're being called to do. This is your month of doing it. And again, if you can continue on with it, the transformation that you're going to make by the end of this year is huge. I see that you're going to make a physical transformation. Like the second house is related to earth energy. It's very physical. So for one, this is going to be something that does increase your self-worth. Your inner self-worth, your inner self-perception is going to heighten because of whatever it is that you're doing. But also this is connected to material shifts. So this could be an actual shift, again, within your actual body, or this could even be a shift within how much money you're able to bring in, or this could be a physical shift because your reality is just going to shift and be different because of your push outside of your regular comfort zone. This could even be correlated to love and being able to cultivate that inner self-worth that says, yes, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of being loved, etc., etc. So this is definitely going to be a big month in terms of what you are pushing yourself towards and then the breakthroughs that are going to happen because of that. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here for you. We have destiny and joy coming up. So for one, this is going to lead to a lot more happiness and also a lot more confidence. This is activating our sacral and solar plexus chakras, where it's activating your inner passions, your inner creativity, and your inner willpower to take action. And I actually see you really enjoying the other side of things where you break outside of this old mold and comfort zone. I'm actually seeing it's leading you towards more joy. Even though in the moment it might be like, it's like slightly uncomfortable because it's like, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone a little bit. But on the other side of it, you're actually going to really enjoy what this new action is. Like, for example, if it's going to the gym, just for example, if it's going to the gym, it's like, maybe we're nervous at first because we're like, are people going to judge me? Are people looking at me? Do I even know how to use this equipment? But then all of a sudden you start actually like building up the momentum, going regularly, and you're like, wait a second, I love this. I love this new identity. I love this new me, et cetera, et cetera. Or let's say you're pursuing a goal and you're stepping outside of your comfort zone to actually put yourself out there to be seen a little bit more. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait, this is actually really fun. I love this. And then it's going to connect you more towards your destiny. So this is something that, again, I really feel like Spirit is saying if you can continue on with what this thing is, it is going to build momentum because this is you becoming the person that you are meant to become. This is part of your destiny, of your new identity that you are meant to be creating this year. Oh, my love, this is huge. Let's go ahead and see our other cards that we get for your month of January, my beautiful group twos. Let's see what else we get. Those two cards want to come out. So we have the Nine of Swords being reversed, and we have the Hierophant upright. So for one, you're also going to be overcoming inner fears that have held you back. The Nine of Swords being reversed. Things that used to stress you out are no longer going to be stressing you out anymore. You're going to start to see progress and momentum, which for one is going to make you feel really committed and really satisfied and like, look at where I'm going from here. And I also feel like you are filling yourself with inner belief, and that is going to be overpowering the inner stresses or fears that used to stand in the way. The Nine of Swords being reversed too lets us know that you're also going to be sleeping better in the month of January. So this could be in the realm of your material world feels more stable, or maybe you're filling yourself with that inner self-worth, or it's perhaps connected to the joy that you're going to be feeling on the other side of this. The second house can also deal with our finances. And with the Nine of Swords being reversed, this is the breath of fresh air where we're like, I could breathe. And then Sagittarius helps us expand. So this could be the expansion of finances in some way, or ideas at the very least that you're creating that are going to help you expand your foundation to make you feel more secure. Or this could be you on a physical level, feeling more stable and more healthy and more sure of yourself. And this could also be connected to that inner self-worth of feeling that joy of, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And in doing so, it's like increasing your self-worth. It's increasing your personal identity and how you view yourself, therefore allowing you to release old anxieties, old stresses, old fears, and it's leading you to a better night of sleep. The Hierophant showing up here as well is a card that's connected to commitment and faith and higher learning. So there may also be a desire to skill build in the month of January, to learn a new skill. Or perhaps you're going to get really into reading, and reading is going to bring about new epiphanies and new wisdom and new information. Or perhaps you're even being self-taught or even taking a course of some kind in January. And this is all going to be things that build up your internal self-worth and makes you feel really good. The Hierophant's connected to that higher learning, but also connected to us just being committed in general. Like maybe we're needing to learn something in order to break through this obstacle or pursue this thing. And I see you absolutely doing that this month. And let's see what else we get. I really feel like that card wanted to come out. Ooh, Three of Cups. There's also going to be a big celebration. Perhaps this is a milestone that you're reaching. I feel like you're connecting with people that are cheering you on this month, or people that are really proud of you. This could be friends, or this could even be other people that you run into, or new people that you meet, or new people that you somehow connect with. But I'm seeing people celebrating you. And I also see perhaps you're going to be reaching some form of milestone, or you're going to have people that are on a similar journey with you. Like this could talk about collaborations. So perhaps, again, maybe we're getting a friend group that we're going to the gym with, or maybe we're starting to take classes, right? Hierophant's connected to learning or classes or things like this. Perhaps we're going to classes and then meeting a community through those classes. Or perhaps we are connecting to community or to other people in some way, and through that, there is celebration. This could also be in your immediate environment, such as friends just being so excited for you or wanting to take part in this journey and support you. But I'm definitely seeing you being surrounded by people where there's like a celebration. There could also be like a celebration in general, such as like a birthday or a significant other event that you're going to be attending in January, where there's like fun celebration all together. There's like joy and like the connection to, you know, I feel like you have a dream and there's people that are cheering you on to do that dream, or even people that you are working with or collaborating with that are helping you in the attainment of that dream. Let's go ahead and get some more cards on this pile for you. It could also mean a myriad of all the above. A lot of the times tarot speaks in layers, and all the things tend to be relevant with the way that tarot speaks. So let's see, because again, they're archetypal energies, and usually when an archetypal energy is a theme of our life, it creates that archetype in multiple aspects of our life. So let's see what else we have here. We also have sensitivity and inner child. This is going to be something that heals your inner child, especially if there's been blocks, wounds, or fears that have held you back, that you are now breaking out of, to where you're kind of able to reinvigorate fun and joy. Joy and the inner child coming out, I feel like this is also going to be a month where you are able to have more fun, to create joy, even in the things that you once thought or maybe struggled with creating joy in. So this could be, again, like going to the gym, or, you know, working towards a certain outcome or goal that you have, and learning how to make it more fun along that journey and within that path. Also, the sensitivity card coming out. If there's anything that you were sensitive about, sensitive towards anxieties or sensitive towards different worries or things like this, sensitive towards judgments, I feel like you're liberating yourself from that. I feel like there may be a moment where, as you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, you feel that inner sensitivity, but then I also see you overpowering it and overcoming it. And then celebrating the fact that you've overcome it. It's your destiny to overcome it. Whatever this inner sensitivity is that's been holding you back, it's your destiny to overcome it. It's your destiny to heal that inner wound and to come back to the fun and the joy in that inner child that's just able to express and have fun and be, you know, like a child doesn't care what other people think of them. They just go about have fun. They say what's on their mind. They don't mind if people are like, well, what game are you playing? They're just like, I'm playing fairies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, they don't really care, right? They don't have that sensitivity that we sometimes gain as an adult. And so something that I'm seeing is that you're also going to be healing that and kind of coming back to that inner joy where it's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just here having fun. I'm coming back to the fun of it. And I'm no longer going to be held back by what other people might think or say or et cetera, et cetera. Let's see what else we get here for you. We have Fate coming out. And then we also have, let's see. So it's interesting, we have the Fate card and we also have the Destiny card, then we also have the Death card. Okay, so this is going to be an inner transformation month. The Death always represents like a huge shift that we're going through or a metamorphosis that we're going through. So you can think about the Death card like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. This is a month where you're letting go of an old version of you or your old way of doing things or your old identity. You're stepping more towards what your destiny is and learning how to create fun, even during the times where you used to be stressed out. Like imagine taking a stressful moment and asking yourself, how can I make this fun? How can I make this moment fun rather than mundane or rather than being something that I have to do? How can I make it fun? So if I'm having to cook dinner and I'm like, oh, I just have to cook dinner again. How can I make it fun? Ooh, that's a question, right? There's a multitude of ways we can make it fun. Let's turn on music. Let's have a freaking dance party while we're cooking dinner. You know, there's multitudes of ways you can make anything fun, right? If there's something that you're like, okay, I really want to pursue this goal, but it's daunting. It's like, oh my God, what are people going to think? I have to put myself out there. But then what if we made it fun? What if it was fun, right? Bringing back that inner child. Look at you getting cracked open this month. So there's going to be a new beginning since we have the egg. And it's a new destiny that's opening for you based on the new intentions that you're making, the new breakthroughs that you are pushing yourself to create this month. And let's go ahead and see any last cards, my love, for your year or for your month of January of 2026. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. These cards all came out in a chunk, but clearly that was meant to be. So we have, don't worry about where you've been or where you're going. Live in the present and make the present the best it can be. That is where life becomes so fun and so exciting. So don't worry about where you've been or where you're going. Have fun in the present moment. The Three of Cups is a very present moment energy. We also have, I should have been blank. What have you been telling yourself? I should have been further along. I should have been already there by now. I should have been this way. I should have done this. I should have done that. What has been the story going on in your mind? And instead, how can you flip that into, well, who should I be right now? And how can I embody that right now? Remember, live in the present moment. Don't worry about where you've been or where you're going. How can you just be in the present moment, the version of you that you desire to be right here, right now? And remember, the universe will never let you fail. I give myself permission to release any guilt, shame, or regret. Release that. Leave that in 2025, my love. Any guilt, shame, or regret. It is time we leave that in 2025 and we move forward feeling ready, feeling more fun than ever, more alive than ever, more full of zest than ever, having more laughter and fun. When we're able to laugh at circumstances in our lives, if we're feeling stressed out about something, instead we can just laugh it off and be like, you know what, let me come back to my inner child who's able to have fun. You know, I remember, a lot of the times when my mom would be prepping for Christmas when I was a kid and she'd be like going through and cleaning the house and I could tell she was so stressed because she'd be like, oh, go clean this or go clean that there. Oh, don't make this mess over here. Oh my God. And I remember being a kid and I remember my perspective as a kid was, Mom, why not let loose and have fun? Like, sure, we can clean, sure, we can do all the things, but let's have fun during it. Let's not bring in this stress. Like, I remember always having that perspective. I was like, let's enjoy. Like, Christmas is supposed to be where we have joy, baking cookies and doing all these beautiful things. Let's have fun with it. Let's not bring in the stress. Let's do our responsibilities, do what we got to do, but let's freaking enjoy ourselves, right? Isn't that the point of celebrating Christmas, right? And doing the holidays and all these things. And if it doesn't all work out the way it's supposed to be, because maybe somebody comes over while the mess is still in the sink and all that, it's like, well, I mean, that's just part of life. Are we going to let it ruin our time? Well, why would we let that ruin our time, right? Let's just have freaking fun together. Let's laugh. Let's have joy. All those beautiful things. I feel like this is one of your biggest realizations that's going to come to you through the month of January. And it's something that Spirit is like, please remind yourself of this, because life is going to become so much more freeing and good and healing. Healing comes through laughter and fun, right? So be silly. Look at this. Be silly. Heal childhood wounds. Oh, being silly is like one of literally the most funnest aspects of life is being silly, right? When did we get so serious? I feel like I'm channeling a message for you right now that's meant to come through, and Spirit's like, it is time to let your inner silliness out. What is your inner silliness? Does your inner silliness love to dance? Do they love to laugh and joke? And like, if something didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to and it wasn't perfect, oh my God, we had a mess in our house and company came over, oh my God. But it's like, how can we be silly about it? How can we just be like, it's part of life? Like literally Everybody has messes sometimes. Everybody, isn't perfect all the time. Everybody stumbles over their words. Everybody has moments of, getting a fact wrong or something. Like everybody has moments of this. Let's be silly. Let's enjoy it. Let's blah, 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 laugh it off, right? So be silly, laugh, play, heal those inner childhood wounds where we feel like we had to be perfect all the time. My love, let that sensitivity go. Look at this liberation of you just laying down and being like, let me let the sensitivity go. I'm almost feeling like Spirit is saying, anytime you feel emotionally overwhelmed or you're feeling very sensitive about something, Spirit's like, lay down, close your eyes, feel into your body where that sensitivity is, feel into your body, because sometimes we feel the sensitivity in our heart, sometimes we feel it in our throat, sometimes we feel it in our gut, sometimes we feel it in our legs, sometimes we feel it in our head, etc. Sometimes we can feel it in a multitude of areas. I want you to just feel into your body where that sensitivity is. And I want you to imagine it liberating from your body. You can even breathe it out through the breath and go, I just feel it dissolving and dissipating and getting lighter and lighter and eventually beaming out through your body and no longer even existing in your body. You can do that to release sensitivity. It is powerful. It is amazing. It is good. Go try it. Go practice it. Remember this practice, please. Go write it down. The fact that I just told you that so that you don't forget it throughout this month. Remember, anytime that you're feeling sensitive, now go write a phone note in your phone, take out the notes app, write that down, write that practice down and go try it out. You can even do it when you're, walking somewhere, let's say, and you just like take a moment, you take a breath and you feel that sensitivity dissolving and it's like, You can even do it when you're around people. You don't even need to fully close your eyes. You just feel into where that is in your body, breathe it out, feel it dissolving. Amazing practice. So good, so liberating. Anyway, that is your month of January, my love. I am sending you so, so, so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. And until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group number 3s, your month of January. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my group 3s, let's see your month of January. So we have the North Node in Taurus in the first house. So the first house deals with your self-identity. The North Node is your destiny and how you're evolving and where you're going. The Taurus energy brings about a very grounded and earthy energy. So this is things where you're creating physical shifts or changes. In the realm of personal identity, what this could look like is creating a physical shift, such as, kind of renewing your identity. This could even be like getting a different hairstyle or shifting how you view yourself on such a level where it shifts how you show up to the world. It shifts you physically in the terms of how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you talk, how you speak, how you hold yourself, how you walk into a room. Perhaps you've been doing a lot of identity work, especially going into this new year. Maybe you've been creating certain intentions like, I desire to be this type of person this year. I desire to show up in such and such way. Perhaps you've been getting detailed about that. And if not, since you have this coming up in your energy through your astro dice, then I would say that Spirit is definitely saying that this is something that would greatly benefit you, because it seems like you're going through a lot of personal shifts and personal changes to the point that you are shifting and almost like reinventing yourself in a way where, again, you're going to be showing up to a room differently. You're going to have a completely different palpable energy, or even you're going to be getting comments after this month where people might be saying like, whoa, oh, you've changed. There's just like something different about you. There's a different glow. There's a different energy. There's a different vibe. You might even start getting comments like that, throughout this month or by the end of this month about how you've kind of shifted and changed. But it looks like you're kind of like really making progress towards even doing a quantum leap in who you are. And Taurus is connected to luxury. It's also connected to like self-worth. So perhaps you're working on your inner self-worth and showing up with more confidence, showing up with more energy where you're claiming the space that you're in and you're giving yourself room to take up space. Taurus, since it's an earth energy, it allows us to take up space. Taurus is connected to the bull, which is kind of like the cow, right? If you think about that animal, it's very like it takes up space, right? And it's comfortable taking up space. It also moves very slow. It's not going to rush towards the next thing. It's very confident, very sturdy, very strong energy. And so since you are kind of, transforming into more of this bull-like energy, what that's saying is that in terms of your energetic shift and transformation that you're going through, it's almost like you command space more. And rather than feeling like you need to rush between things, or rather than feeling like, you don't want to take up too much of somebody's time, so you're trying to like rush the conversation or not trying to talk about yourself too much or any of those things, like this is more of a change where it's like, I want to be more comfortable being patient, being slow, being mindful, being so confident that I'm here to take up space. I'm here to, be me and also just enjoy who I am. This is like you really claiming like, you know what? I deserve to feel abundant. I deserve to desire the things that I desire. Perhaps you've been working on your inner ability to claim what you actually desire rather than brushing it off, rather than feeling like you don't deserve it or whatnot. Let's see what else you get here for your month of January. Ooh, my group threes. We have a bunch of cards coming out here. Okay, look at this. So we have the Four of Wands, Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and King of Wands. So the Four of Wands, for one, can talk about us in our home life. And I'm getting a few different messages with this. Perhaps some of you are going to be, I'm almost feeling like you're doing a deep clean. When I'm looking at this card here, I'm getting the energies of a deep clean and renewing your space to where you feel more vibrant, more at home, and more alive and more connected to the environment that you're in. An environment where you're like, I feel like I can celebrate, I feel like I can have people over and enjoy and be so proud of my space. That's coming through. The Four of Wands can also talk about a foundation that you're setting for yourself. Perhaps you're setting up a new foundation or a new goal that you are rooting into the world in January, and you're ready to build it higher. The Four of Wands can also talk about some form of celebration. So celebrating a milestone that you are reaching, such as like, oh, I've accomplished this, and actually taking time to celebrate that accomplishment and that milestone. Perhaps you're going to be working towards something really big that you are excited to celebrate. But the Four of Wands is very connected to our home as well, and very connected to our environment. So your environment is going to be kind of shifting and changing as well, or setting the stage for something new. If any of you do work in anything where you are required to do presentations or go on stage in some way or be in the spotlight or celebrate something, the Four of Wands is that energy. So this could be the celebration of like a promotion, or you going up on stage and kind of setting the foundation of something successful, or there might even be a plan of that. If you're kind of making plans where there's something that you are excited to either present or bring to the world or speak about, or something along the lines of this. The Four of Wands is kind of setting that into motion this month. The Six of Swords being reversed. If there is anything that kind of needs to be evened out in terms of conversations that we might need to have, apologizing or forgiving or releasing the past, anything that feels bumpy, especially in terms of your mind or communication. This is going to be a month where you are going to be kind of sorting through misunderstandings or even plans that weren't fully refined or defined. The Six of Swords helps us go backwards for a second to realize like, ooh, maybe what I've started was kind of off on a little bit of a bumpy kind of foot. So maybe like we tried to put certain plans into motion, or, you know, we thought that we fully aired something out, but then we realized that there was still a little bit of misunderstanding, or there was still a little bit of rockiness. This is you going back to kind of revise that path in order to create more smoothness, in order to fully go into a new transition. Then we also have the Seven of Pentacles showing up in the reverse position. There is something that I feel like you're really working towards manifesting. And perhaps you've been working on it for a little while, perhaps even a whole year already. And when this card is in the reverse position, it can talk about that we might not have seen the progress as quickly as we had hoped. Maybe we were expecting a larger outcome. However, what I'm seeing in the month of January is you reinvigorating that inner spark and being like, you know what, I'm getting up, I'm trying again because I believe in myself, I'm setting up a new foundation, and I'm gonna replant this garden and hope for a better, fruitful, more fruitful year. And so I feel like you're reinvigorating yourself with new motivation and new energy to not give up and to also not settle for what you've received in the past, because I feel like you're awakening this inner realization, like I'm worthy of more than this, and I'm capable of more than this. And it's almost like you're motivating yourself with that energy, or almost just feeling that energy kind of like percolate within you, is like, I'm worth more. I can accomplish more. I can do more. It's almost like you're expecting more from yourself and kind of creating a higher vision for yourself this year. King of Wands is like the master of his energy. And what I'm seeing for you within the King of Wands is your ability to kind of regenerate an old vision that, again, might not have worked the exact way you wanted it to the first time, but it's like you're regenerating that inner fire. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna make this bigger and better than it's ever been before. And that's the energy I'm seeing you cultivating through January. So let's go ahead and see what else we get for you here. My group threes for your month of January. We have the Star, Divine. This is when you awaken your inner divine spark that says, like, it's kind of like when you really start to reinvent who you are and you see your most inspiring version of you. It's like you see your own inner star. And when we have the Star Divine, it's kind of like we have this hope and this faith and this higher vision that we are also striving towards. So perhaps you have a very strong vision going into this new year. Maybe you've made a vision for yourself, or you're just about to make like a higher vision for yourself. And if so, I'd highly recommend claiming something large, because I really see with this King of Wands energy, it's like you're really motivating yourself towards a higher vision. And there's a saying that I have. So let's say that, you know, let's take two different paths, for example. Let's take the easier path where we create easy goals, where we're like, okay, I know I can accomplish those. I'm only going to create easy goals so that I don't get disappointed in making big goals. But then let's take a different version of you that decides to make the biggest goals possible, where it's like, whoa, is that even going to be possible for me? I don't know, but they're huge. Oh my God, I'm going to try to motivate myself towards them. Who do you think by the end of the year is going to accomplish more? Even if either of them don't necessarily reach 100% of their goals, which one has gone further? Which one has made more progress, right? The one that's made more progress is usually the one with that super high vision and high goals, has usually at least made further progress than the other one who was scared to even claim those higher goals. Then we also have the card of hope. So this is reinvigorating yourself with faith, with hope, with inner belief, which is very connected to our King of Wands energy, who is the one who is able to regenerate his inner belief no matter what he's experienced thus far, no matter what failures he's gone through. He's able to regenerate that inner spark so powerfully to continue moving forward regardless of the past. And so I feel like that's also very connected to how your month is going. It's like generating this inner belief. And the stronger that inner belief is, the more it's going to carry you through this entire year. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here. I'm also seeing you going back and revising something that maybe didn't work out exactly how you wanted it to. Or maybe you're like, maybe you tried to accomplish something before and it's like, that wasn't quite the result I wanted. Look, you're going back and you're fixing it. And this King of Wands energy shows this entire potential of being able to manifest the outcome that you truly desire from it. So we also have the Creator energy. Your inner creative spark is coming out, the ability to claim being the creator of your reality. This could also be a very creative month for you, where perhaps, again, this could even be about a creative project that wasn't quite finished, it wasn't quite perfect, and you're going to be coming back to it and finalizing it, putting on those finishing touches. And then that King of Wands energy is like, it's complete, it's done. The King of Wands can also talk about the completion of it, where we're like, yep, okay, it's finished. So you might even be finishing something in the month of January, and by the end of the month, you have the completed version of it. Sacred sexuality can talk about having boundaries over where we spend our energy. So it doesn't always deal directly with sexuality, but it can deal with, like, you know, honoring where you spend your energy and who you give your energy to. So if there's something that you're like, you know what, I really feel like this type of action or habit always drains my energy, then this card would talk about having those inner boundaries that say, no, I'm not going to spend my energy here. I'm going to have the boundary. And it's also honoring that. So rather than feeling obligated to do things, it's like, no, I'm going to put a boundary up that says, I'm going to treat that energy as sacred. I'm going to treat my energy as sacred. And if I feel like doing something, I'll do it. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. So it's kind of like creating more healthy boundaries around what you say yes to and what you say no to. And let's go ahead and pull out an archetype card for this month for you as well. So let's see. Ooh, we have the Father archetype coming up. So perhaps there's also going to be healing around Father energy, and especially since we have King of Wands coming up as well. The Father archetype might be a dominant archetype for the month of January for you. So perhaps this could be connecting with your father more, or it could just be the archetype and you even embodying more of this archetype. So the Father archetype, the light attributes are talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. The shadow attributes are dictatorial control and abuse of authority. So a few things that I'm feeling here is, for one, I feel like you're stepping up into this ability to bring life to your creations and to realize that you get to choose what you bring life to. So if there's a creative project you want to pursue, or if there's something you really want to manifest, the Father archetype is the one that's able to believe in himself, to take action and make it happen. So regardless if you're a man or a woman, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, and the masculine Father archetypal energy is where we create discipline, we create boundaries, and we are also the giver of life. So when we have a creative project, metaphorically what this would mean is the ability to actually pursue and manifest that creative project, to have that willpower to push through it. The dictatorial control, though, sometimes we can get too controlling with our external circumstances, or even with ourselves, or even with others. So if any of you have experienced that in your life, perhaps there's going to be healing with you and your father through the month of January by having deep conversations, or this could even be with yourself, such as being less controlling with the outcome, or being less picky or less hard on yourself. This could also be with other people. So let's say that somebody doesn't do things the exact way we want them to. This would be the healing of that inner father archetype, where it's like, you know what, I'm not going to be overly controlling about it. This could also be about fearing what other people might say. Like sometimes if we've had a father that was like very vocal and very disciplinary and a little bit more angry and had a bit more of a temper, sometimes that can lead us to either having that inner voice that carries with us throughout our lives and almost kind of drains our energy or makes us fearful of certain things, or it can sometimes like manifest in other unhealthy ways. However, when we come back to that healthy father archetype and we give ourselves that energy, or embody more of that energy ourselves, then we create this like nice balance. And so I feel like for you, you're also creating a nice balance in your life, where rather than having a temper, or rather than kind of following like the negative archetype, it's embodying that positive one. giving life and giving encouragement and all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and pull some more cards for you. I just feel like pulling maybe like one of these cards and then moving on to our spiritual guidance advice. Oh, that card wanted to just like hop out there. So we have retreat, cave. This is also going to be a month where there's like reflection, inner reflection, or perhaps even being more in solitude when it comes to your time and putting up strong boundaries, such as, no, I need this time of pure peace and quiet to do this, this, and this. Or you're going to be more conscious of distractions and being more conscious of what tends to distract you, like perhaps having your phone around distracts you, perhaps having the TV on distracts you. And maybe you're going to create healthier boundaries this month to keep yourself in focus on the things that you desire to be focused on. So I feel like the cave is kind of like this, you putting up boundaries around your time and your energy in order to not have distractions or, you know, things that are kind of stealing your focus away. And let's go ahead and see any last cards for you. We're going to dive into our spiritual advice cards here. My group threes. Let's see. We have, they entered your life for a specific reason to support you in a way that only they could. So give thanks to the people who've entered your life, who you've experienced on your timeline, because everybody is in our life for a specific reason. So even if we've had negative relationships, like let's say even with our father, we've had like bad experiences or something like this, or with a friend or with whoever in our lives. Remember, they entered your life for a specific reason to support you in a way that only they could for your own spiritual learning and evolution. And then we also have, you're in the thick of it. I actually feel like you're in the middle of something of like a creation energy, or even of a time where perhaps you're like busy sorting things and kind of like wrapping things up to come to a completion point. So you're kind of in the thick of it of wrapping things up and finishing things this month. Then we also have the card of how are you today? So check in with yourself. How are you actually feeling today? And in whichever way that you answer this question right now, I feel like Spirit wants to tell you, how can you give yourself what you need right now and today? So if you're feeling drained or lack of energy, how can you give yourself what you need today? Maybe it's something like taking a bath and taking it easy tonight. How are you feeling today? Maybe you feel really energized and really creative, and maybe you're like, how can I give myself what I need right now? Maybe I need space to work on my creative projects, et cetera, et cetera. How are you today, and how can you give yourself what you need based on how you're doing? So my love, that is what we have for your month of January. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group number fours, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading for the month of January, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my group fours, beginning with your Astro Dice. Let's see what we get here for you. We have Pluto, the planet of transformation in Sagittarius, in the 7th house. So this is a transformation and a shift in your realm of relationships. So this is usually your intimate partnerships and relationships with the 7th house showing up. So this could be a transformation in your friend group in some way, shape, or form. This could be a transformation within your business partnerships, or this could even be a transformation in your intimate partnership that you have, if you have one. This is a transformation in the way that you even show up to your relationships. So perhaps you're transforming your relationships in a way where you are going to be opening up to more freedom and more flow, because Sagittarius energy wants to expand. So it's the expansion of this area, and Pluto is again helping with the transformation to create that expansion. Pluto is also the planet of hidden gifts that appear when we go through a transformation. Pluto also helps us release what no longer serves us and what we no longer resonate with. So in the realm of relationships and partnerships, this month, maybe you're really going to do a big evaluation of who am I connected to, and who do I no longer maybe resonate with or want to connect to, who's no longer on my same path. Maybe we're going to do this whole like evaluation and clean out of like, you know, maybe I'm wanting to distance myself here. Maybe I'm wanting to connect to more to these people, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be a transformation in your relationships. This could even be more on a not so serious level, such as like like, who am I following on social media? What kind of content am I constantly seeing on social media? And it could be like a evaluation of like, I want to no longer be seeing this, and kind of doing like this clear out and this clean out in what you are connected to socially. But the 7th house, since it does usually touch on more serious relationships, this would be a transformation in those areas. And usually it's like an ending of the old and a beginning of the new. This could also be just a transformation, like let's say you're in a beautiful marriage or something like this. This could also be a transformation such as, how do we need to transform ourselves and our dynamic so that we can continue expanding in creating the life together that we really want to? Because you know how sometimes things can get stagnant, or sometimes things evolve, like you reach certain milestones together, but then it's like, okay, well, what's our new vision? What's the higher vision from here? Right? Sagittarius asks, what is that higher vision? What are we expanding into next? Let's not let things get boring and mundane here now. Let's go ahead and create new goals together so we can transform into them. And then Pluto helps us release all of the old paradigms that were perpetuating the old goals and the old things that maybe we've already accomplished and already achieved. Pluto helps us get rid of the things that no longer are really relevant, and helps us bring in a new energy and new actions and new habits and new dynamics that help us go towards the vision of what we do want to create. So again, this could be in terms of business, in terms of friendships, in terms of your intimate relationship. Again, whatever is going to be relevant for you based on your personal timeline and your personal life circumstances. Because again, these are general readings, so I just point out all the different options of what I see, but there's definitely going to be some big transformations there. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, Pluto always brings a gift, because it's the planet of transformations that helps us release things that are no longer in the same vibration or no longer aligned. Because it helps us release those things, it kind of creates a little bit of a blank slate and a little bit of a void, because all of a sudden we've pulled out a lot of things. Like imagine Pluto's sort of like the one that comes into your home being like, what's the furniture and all the items and pieces that you haven't used in a very long time? And Pluto's like, just makes the big decision of like, okay, we're getting rid of all that. You don't even touch it. You don't even use it. So Pluto helps us get rid of those things that we're no longer aligned to. But after we do, sorry, I tapped my camera there. But after we do this big clean out, what Pluto does is it then says, oh, we got a lot of this empty space. So what is aligned? What does serve you? Then Pluto brings us a gift and says, here's what's in alignment, and here's what you can fill that void with. Here's what you can now fill that with in order to continue manifesting your next highest timeline. So that's what Pluto does. So the month of January, you're going to be noticing that type of energy. And Pluto usually has a bit of longer transits. And so I actually feel like this is something that's going to be occurring beyond just the month of January. Like this is going to kind of be the initiation month of these things. But I actually feel like this is going to be going on for the next 7 months. You're going to be noticing these major shifts, these major transformations. But by the end of 7 months from now, so around July, this is where you're going to notice that you have received some of those gifts that have been replacing what has been, said goodbye to, essentially. So yes, we also have 9 of Swords being reversed and King of Wands upright. Interesting. I feel like these 2 cards, I've definitely seen them in today's video so far in a different group, I feel like, but either way, clearly they're wanting to come up for you as well. So 9 of Swords being reversed, for one, talks about getting better sleep. It also talks about getting better rest and feeling more rejuvenated and energized, releasing stress, releasing anxiety, and releasing worries that have kind of like kept you up at night. So if there's anything that's been bringing you a sense of stress or anxiety, there's going to be the release of that this month. And I feel like you're going to be trying new things, or perhaps even gaining the support from really close, meaningful people that are going to help kind of calm this energy. The King of Wands, for one, I feel like is representing your energy, but can also represent a significant relationship that's transforming. So the King of Wands usually represents a male, and usually represents a fire sign male, which is either Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Of course, he can represent a multitude of different other signs and things, or he can again represent you, or even a woman, but most of the time it's a man, and most of the time it's a fire sign man, or at least somebody who's just very creative, very spontaneous, or somebody who's embodying more of their spontaneity, more of their inner fire, more of their inner passions and sensuality and things like that. This could also represent you embodying more of those aspects yourself as well and becoming more passionate and reinvigorating an inner fire. The King of Wands represents the master of his energy, and he says, even if something has burnt out, I am here to reinvigorate it. And usually the King of Wands also reinvigorates somebody else with this fire as well. So you might be getting a motivational talk by your partner if you have one, or from somebody that you're really close with. There might be some big motivational talk that you get where they're just like igniting this inner fire within you, where they're like, you know what? It's time to expand. It's time to get motivation. It's time to go farther than you've ever gone before, especially if you've been going through a time where you're like, do I just give up on things? Do I just let things go? Oh my God, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. I feel like you're going to have somebody who's just like really supporting you and really cheering you on, being like, you know what? You freaking got this. You got this. They're going to be giving you insight and wisdom that's going to help you with expanding. And also, this could be read as you as well. All of a sudden, then, because of these conversations, because of these realizations, all of a sudden you're going to be at this point where you're like, I am motivated more than ever to make change, to reinvigorate this inner spark that maybe I once felt like kind of giving up on things. Maybe I once felt like letting things go. Maybe I once felt like, oh, I'm done trying. Nothing's ever really working out for me. But look at this motivation that you are receiving in the month of January. And I really do feel like it's coming from a relationship, or could be coming from yourself, maybe from something that you are doing, such as like reading a book or doing something for yourself, or realizations that you're having could be coming from that as well. Again, it is a general reading, so there's usually a few different options, but for the most part, I'm feeling like a lot of you are going to be having conversations with somebody else who kind of brings out this sense of like inner motivation and an inner fire. We also have the Eight of Swords showing up. Ooh, areas in which you have felt stuck. So if you've been feeling trapped or stuck, or even if you feel like logically you've been trying to find a solution for whatever's been stressing you out, and maybe logically it's like, I don't really see how it could happen. I don't see what the solution is. I don't see a way out. I don't see how it could come about. I feel like you're going to be regaining this new motivation. And the secret that the Eight of Swords teaches us is that when logically there seems to be no solution, the solution lies within our intuition, and it lies within our emotional guidance, because our emotional guidance and our intuition can even find ideas or thoughts or ways to a solution or to an outcome that we desire that our conscious mind or our logical mind can't seem to piece together itself. There's always other ways that maybe we cannot mentally comprehend, but our intuition can guide us there. And so something that I'm feeling is like this inner motivation, this inner spark is going to guide you to learning how to break out of whatever limitations that you're currently facing, or whatever you currently feel bound by or stuck by that has been causing you either stress or anxiety, or just feeling, again, stuck. We also have the King of Pentacles being reversed. So this could be feeling stuck either around money, finances, career, or something physical that you've been wanting to manifest. This is like a physical manifestation. And when the King of Pentacles is reversed, he's feeling like either he doesn't understand how it could come about, or we're kind of stuck on those things. And I'm feeling like you're going to be getting this, again, this huge motivation, and your secret here lies within following your intuition. Intuition is the single thing that can guide you towards ideas and solutions that your logical mind cannot seem to comprehend or find or create on its own. And this is going to be something that you're going to be learning through the month of January. And so those aspects that you used to feel stuck with, you're going to be learning and gaining those insights via your intuition. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here for you for the month of January. Let's see, my group 4 is the month of January. We also have Earth grounding. So we also have the King of Pentacles, which is the Earth realm, and then Earth grounding. So calming the mind, connecting to the body and the mind, finding mindfulness and nature. So your connecting to your body, that's where your intuition lies. And so I feel internally like you know that there's more that's possible for you. But it's almost like, again, logically and thinking logically, it almost feels like, but there's no way. There's no physical way. I don't see how. I don't see a way. This is going to, again, be something that you figure out through following your inspirations, through believing in yourself, and through your intuition. One beautiful way to tap up into your intuition is through tapping into your body and tapping into those subtle emotional feelings that you get, not the emotions that are full of fear or doubt, because those are just egoic emotions that are not connected to your intuition. Your intuitions are subtle inner knowings, like, I know that there's more. I know that there's expansiveness. And when you tap into the emotion of expansiveness, or you tap into the emotion of what you desire, that's where you can begin to extract out intuitive feelings such as, I feel like the next step is this. And maybe I don't see the whole path yet, but I feel like the next step is blank, whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes to your intuitive body, right? That's usually your guidance system speaking to you. And let's go ahead and see what else we get here. We also have surrender and flow. So this is riding the waves, tapping into the flow state and letting go. Another few things that I'm seeing for you is the ability to release the doubt or release the worries, because oftentimes when we worry about something and it hasn't even fully happened yet, or we don't even have our full answers yet, worrying about it isn't really helpful in any way, shape, or form. It just kind of creates discomfort in the present moment. So another thing that I'm seeing for you is the ability to ground yourself and realize that I'm actually okay. I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. And then when we surrender and go with the flow of things, we hop back on our ability to kind of like tap back into our energy, to tap back into our unlimited potential, and to continue moving forward. And moving forward is literally your key out of anything, especially out of feeling stuck. We want to be able to move forward, but oftentimes we feel paralyzed about moving forward when we're full of worries and doubts and all of these things. But when we can learn to ground ourselves, to realize, where am I in the present moment? Am I okay? Yes, I am okay. Let me tap into more of that feeling of being okay. Let me notice how stable I feel on the ground. And then let me surrender to the flow and start moving forward. And this is kind of the transition that I'm seeing for you through the month of January, is this transition of releasing worry and releasing anxiety and realizing it's not even benefiting me anyway to hold on to this. So rather, let me go with the flow. Let me focus on expanding myself. Let me focus on the next step I can take. And you have support that's surrounding you this month as well. So let's see what else we get, my love, my group 4s for your month of January. I feel like this card wants to come out. We have strength coming through. So tapping up into your unlimited strength. We also have the killer whale. And whenever I see a killer whale, it kind of reminds me of this motivation to kind of like get things done, to tap up into your inner self where you're like, where you're really motivated and you're like, I can swim fast. Like when you think about a killer whale, they're like the fastest whales. They are fierce. They go for it. And I feel like you're tapping up into your energy of that. And usually I don't say the words tapping up into, but for some reason in your reading, I keep saying the phrase tapping up into. So it's almost like you're raising your vibration. You're tapping up into a higher version of yourself rather than just tapping into something. You are kind of like raising your energy, tapping into higher emotions. Then we also have the Magician. The Magician coming up is the card that talks about reawakening your belief in yourself as the creator of your reality. Realizing that your thoughts create your reality. One of the biggest, most best questions that I ever came across was the question of, whenever you are facing circumstances that you don't like, ask yourself this: what aspect of me is causing these circumstances? Ask yourself that question. That is the single most powerful question that will give you the greatest insight about what you can do to shift it. Because any circumstance that comes your way, there is always a part that we play in the creation of that circumstance. And when we can become aware of what that is, then we know what we have the power to change in order to actually change the circumstance. So again, ask yourself the question, whenever you're in a circumstance that you do not like or that you want to discontinue or want to change, ask yourself, what aspect of me is creating or sustaining this circumstance? Boom, you are going to get your most incredible insights and answers from that question. Let's go ahead and pull an archetype card for you for the month of January as well. So we have the archetype card of the vampire coming out. Ooh, my love, my love, my love, the vampire. This could talk about energetic vampires, by the way. Let's get into this. So the light attribute makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. This could be something that you are giving your energy away to, such as worries about the future, or a circumstance that is not serving you, or something that we should close out and get rid of. The shadow attributes is depleting others for your psychic survival, or chronic complaining or codependency. When we're always complaining about a circumstance rather than actually doing something about it, we continue having the vampire archetype where we are unknowingly draining our own energy. So I feel like this is also a month where you're going to be evaluating what drains your energy versus what actually makes you feel alive and full of energy. I feel like you're also going to be looking at what ways you can shift yourself in order to shift your circumstances and even create boundaries so that you're no longer leaking your energy. That is that vampire archetype. Whoa, my love. Lots of shifts and changes right there. So let's go ahead and see any last information for you for the month of January. So we have, I know I will never miss what is meant for me. Ooh, that is powerful. What is meant for you will always be, and there's no way that you could ever ruin something that's meant for you, because otherwise it wouldn't be something that's meant for you, because if it's meant for you, it's meant for all of who you are. Therefore, there's nothing you could do to actually ruin it or stop it from being in your life. You can never miss what is meant for you. Then we also have the difficult conversations. So if there is something that's specifically draining you and making you feel not great, if you have energy vampires around you, maybe it's time to have the difficult conversations and put up boundaries such as, you know what? I have a boundary here. I have a boundary here. I have a boundary here. That way you're no longer leaking your energy in ways that are, again, making you leak your energy. Leaking your energy is never a good thing. We don't want to leak energy. We want to give energy intentionally when it feels right to do so, but we don't want to leak it, right? We don't want to feel like it's being stolen from us or drained from us. Then we also have, are you projecting? So sometimes also when we're worrying about the future, we're actually projecting our worries onto the future. But instead, when we can ask, what's the best case scenario, and how can I make the best case scenario happen? Oh, that's a way better question, right? Rather than worrying about the future saying, what if this happens? Oh, what if that happens? How can I prepare for it now? Well, if we prepare for failure, then we should expect failure. If we're preparing for failure, then we're literally setting up and shaping our lives to invite in failure. Instead, when we can project, what if the best thing happens? And what can I do right now to align myself and make sure that the best thing happens? Well, now we're creating entirely different circumstances around us. So what are you projecting into your future? What are you projecting into your future? Last two cards. We have pay attention. Ooh, whenever that card comes up, it's Spirit wanting you to rewind the video and pay attention to what was just said, because Spirit's like, there's a powerful message for you there. Please rewind it, go back and pay attention. And then we also have, I allow my inner child to come out and play. Whenever we allow our inner child to come out, I feel like we get the best circumstances and energies. If you think about your inner child and how you used to view the world, where you made fun part of everything that you did. Like, I remember being a little kid And I remember seeing my mom like open envelopes and read letters and clean out the dishwasher and do all these things. Even my daughter right now, oh my God, if I open up the dishwasher to clean it out, she is right there and she's just like, yes, make me a part of this, right? You know, like that's her energy. I want to be a part of the dishwasher clean out. I want to teach me how to unload the dishwasher. It's so cool, right? And sometimes when we're an adult, we're like, you know, I'm going through all these mundane things. I have to do laundry, I have to do all these things. But when we come back to our inner child who's like, oh, I get to do laundry, I get to vacuum. That's like, a kid is so fascinated with all of these things. And when we can come back to our inner child and be fascinated with all aspects of life, and we can find fun in all aspects of life, opening up our mail, cleaning out the dishwasher, doing our laundry, all the things, oh, life can be reinvigorated with so much fun. So allow your inner child to come out and play. What would your inner child love to do? If your inner child was in your shoes right now, remember when you used to dream about being older and having more freedom, having more maturity, having more autonomy, being able to choose what you eat and all these things? Remember when you were a child, you used to dream about the freedom that you have right now. What would your inner child do in your shoes right now? Ask yourself that, my love, because some of the best realizations can come from that. What would your inner child love to do in your shoes right now? Would your inner child be like, ooh, I get to, you know, be in this beautiful home. Do I want to organize it differently? Do I want to have fun making it beautiful? Do I want to have fun baking cookies? What would your inner child love to do in your shoes right now? And how would they spend a day in your shoes? I remember I used to be a child who I used to dream having my own autonomy, my own job, my own this, my own that. And sometimes, you know, in my current life, I can sometimes take things for granted because I'm living, you know, this is just my life now. This is just what it is. But when I come back and remind myself to embrace my inner child's like, oh, I get to do what today? I get to do anything I want. I get to eat anything I want. I get to kind of like spend my day however I want. Oh, that's exciting. I get to go to a job, right? Like, your inner child would be so excited. So bring back that inner child, my love. Embrace it. I am sending you so much love. I'm so excited for you for your month of January. Set a reminder every morning or every day when you get off work, whatever time's best for you, right? But I want you to set a reminder that goes off every day of January. Live from your inner child. Live from your inner child, my love. Set a reminder every day that goes off. Allow your inner child to come out and play and have fun with each and every day, because each day is a beautiful gift. So anyway, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. And until next time, bye.